Hey y'all, it is Asia, the Fumbling Farmer, out here in Zone 8A in North Carolina. Um, it is supposed to rain for the next like 4 days, and I figured today would be a good morning to come out here and do a little garden tour. I'm starting off on my deck today because I think the last couple of times I haven't really showed my deck and what's going on here. So we're going to take a little, oh, look at my baby back there. Oh, she's so cute. Anyway, we're going to take a little view around what my deck looks like. All right, let's get started. Okay, so on the table is a mess. My goal is to also clear off some of the stuff. This is mint. It's like peppermint. I had put it in here a while ago and it didn't do that great because I planted it in like the heat of the summer and it struggled, but it's doing okay. All right, and these things here, I have a couple of cucumber plants. I have some this is butterfly peas. It looks like some daisies kind of came up in here, and this is aster came up. In this one here, I had snapdragons planted, and it looks like some of those came up there. And this is some kind of melon, I don't know which one. Lemongrass is in here, and cinnamon basil is doing pretty good over here. I'm going to probably repot those today. I also had a sweet potato kind of starting inside the house, and it's got some roots to it and stuff, so I'm going to go and put that in the garden somewhere too. And then these all got to get cleaned up and rinsed out and all that, washed out. Let's see what else. Okay, let's start over here. The lemon tree, there's like actual lemons looking things on them, so that is pretty cool. These are our first lemons that we've gotten that look like a decent size and like real life lemons, so that's kind of fun. I think there's only those 3 on there, but that's good enough for me. Oh, this might become one. There was a bunch of flowers on here that fell off. Oh, I see a Japanese beetle over there. I need to get that off of there. Okay, but that's there. All right, down below, this is caraway. It went to seed, which is what I wanted it to do. And it has like those little things. And I think that part of the caraway is what you use for the spices, I believe. All right, and then my thyme is just looking beautiful. I cut it all the way back. I'm never going to be scared to cut back thyme again. I was scared to cut it and mess it up, but it came back so nice and full and bushy. So that's something I definitely learned this year. These things here all got like drowned out because this is sitting in a tray of water from the rain, and these are just whatever. What's this? This is eggplant. I could probably plant this baby and see if it does something. All right, in here I have tomato ground cherry growing here, and I put a little patio snacker cucumber here. So we'll see what comes of that. This is a basket flower and a whole bunch of weeds going on in here too. What's up with that? So let's pull those out. A nasturtium growing here. Some beets I put in here, and then some, what is that? Chamomile, I believe, growing there. And I have to come through and weed this one out because it's a little funky. I love the color of the beet leaves though. This is lemongrass here. Allegedly supposed to do something about the mosquitoes, but yet to see that happen. All right, then I have, these are the Mexican sour gherkin thingies, or cucamelons, I've heard some people call them. So either way, I'm trying to get them to grow up here. This one's doing a little bit better, growing up down there and up the deck. So I'm trying to get it. I might need to put in some kind of fencing, like these gaps in here might be a little too big. All right, this is arugula growing here. Something found it and is eating it down to the stumps. I cleaned some caterpillars away at one point, but I don't know. It's kind of growing back a little bit, I guess. All right, in here I got parsley and some sweet potatoes growing in here too. So these, I started these the same ways that I did the stuff that's in that little cup of water. And then my, what are these called? Hibiscus. This plant is about 3 years old, 4 years old, I think. And we bring it in the winter. It usually looks rough, and then we put it out and it kind of pops back again. And this is my lychee. So it's trying to come back, but it looks like something keeps eating the, it's sprouts here where it's trying to come back, or maybe it's just really bushing out. I don't know. Usually only does one sprout at a time. And then here's my little planter thing that I love. So up here we got some lettuce, some Thai basil, which is looking pretty good. I'm going to cut it way back and give some to some friends. I've already asked them if they wanted some, and so they said they'd take some. And then I have some cilantro growing here. This is the second planting of cilantro. I had one plant, it got really big and went to seed like this one is doing. And then I took that plant out and planted this one in instead. Here's some purple basil, and these are chives growing here. It's really nice to have chives so close to the house that I can just cut them off and use them in my cooking as needed. And then, like I showed you, the cilantro's up here. There's also like shallots or something in here too. I don't know what those are, but I planted some other kind of oniony thing up there too. This is more parsley here growing, and some kale. I did harvest some kale off of here and use it. Just sauteed it up with some butter and garlic and salt and pepper. It was delicious. And then there's just a bunch of lettuce down here. I have to like use it. My daughter used it as like, instead of a burger bun, she wrapped it in lettuce. But it is kind of getting big and tall and going to seed almost. Like this one's getting really tall, so I know it's going to go to seed soon. All right. And then in my little things over here, I have this hibiscus plant here that I thought had died, but it's looking nice and tall and getting big. This is another pineapple ground cherry growing in there. I put it in here because when they fall to the ground, I kind of want them to fall up here so I can harvest them quickly so that the animals don't get them. Here's some more mint. I planted this mint this spring, so hopefully it'll do a little bit better. There's a bergamot and another cucumber in there, so we'll see how those do. It's looking much better. It was kind of spindly before. Now it's growing nice and tall. This is heal all, and then some more thyme. I think it's like orangello. Oh yeah, it has a little orange scent to it. That's interesting. Orangello thyme. So that's pretty interesting. And then there's some more caraway going to seed here. All right, that's that. Let's go on down now and see what we can find going on in the lower part of the garden. As far as chores for today, I have to plant that sweet potato. I want to get that planted before it rains. I do really like to plant before things rain. And then I have to, I'll show you my other thing with the beans. Here's the garden proper, not the little offshoots. So let's see what we have going on in here. This is Anise hyssop. This was kind of a younger plant. It has such a lovely licorice smell. It must be in the mint family because it has square stems. That's how you can tell if something is in the mint family, is if they have square stems, if you feel them. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but if it has square stems, then it's in the mint family. This is my feverfew. I've been harvesting the flowers and drying the leaves. It does not taste good. I made my daughter, she wasn't feeling well. I made her some mint lemon balm and feverfew tea, and she did not like the flavor of that. When I did mint and lemon balm, she liked that, but she did not like it with the feverfew in there. But she also felt better right the next day. So it could have either been like a 24-hour bug that she just wasn't feeling well, or the feverfew did what it was supposed to do. So we'll see. Anyway, so that's the feverfew growing there. I also put some yarrow in here. So there is some yarrow just growing in here. There was some chamomile too, but something came and dug this thing up a couple of times and I had to re-stuff it down there. All right, this is also some hyssop that's blooming. And then this over here, it looks beautiful. But that's also some hyssop. And the bees love it. They're usually on here. I think I'm early in the morning. If you look, there's a lot of like little small tiny flies and bees. Oh, there's a bee. I don't know if y'all could see it. Where'd he go? There he is, buzzing around there. But there's also like these little small flies. So all of those are pollinators that are good for my garden. Oh, there's a little ladybug there. That's a voracious beast. All right, let's keep going. So this over here is the celery that I had, but it's going to seed, and I am letting it go to seed just because it's another source of pollen for the pollinators, and it's fine. I'll pull it out a little later. All right, this is my experiment. A friend gave me the pot, so I'm going to have these nasturtiums, and I'm imagining them cascading over the side. And then these are some kind of like a melon, Minnesota midget, I think they're called. And my goal is to kind of train them over to the trellis and see if they will grow kind of up the trellis, and if that will help them keep away from the slugs and the bugs and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. All right, let's go down here. Okay, this is my green bean bed. It has some other stuff in it. There's another anise hyssop here. When this stuff goes to seed, it does get everywhere. So I've pulled up a bunch of little plants that were in here, but it does like reseed really easily. So that's kind of cool. There's a snapdragon right here because why not? I love them. This is another anise hyssop growing here. Like I said, they reseed really easily. I had an extra tomato plant, so I put it in here. And I'm just going to train it up the trellis that's growing here. But the other thing that's really interesting, these were supposed to be bush beans, but it's not. They're not doing bush bean things. So, for example, like this is supposed to be a bush bean, but it has grabbed onto the trellis and found it and wrapped its way up. And look at this one here. This is even more in the center of the bed, and it found its way up here, and it's wrapping its way up. So these ones here are like hugging each other, trying to stay up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have some of these tomato trellises here that I doubled up to make them nice and tall. I think I'm going to take those and put them just like strategically throughout the middle of the bed so that they have places to kind of climb up a little bit too. Because some of them look bushy, like these look bushy. And I planted two types. I planted like a blue lake bush bean, and then I planted some kind of red bush. It was supposed to be a bush bean, but some other kind of bean. So it looks like some of these are going to be bush beans. Like these are growing pretty low and compact, but some of them I think are going to need some support. So I'm going to try to provide that for them. This one is also doing the thing where it's going here. All right, I got another snapdragon here, and some more nasturtiums going here. I just love the shape of nasturtium leaves. I just think they're really, really pretty. So I have a couple nasturtiums there. These are some pole beans that I planted growing up here. So these ones that are planted close to the trellis, these ones are supposed to be pole beans. So they're kind of climbing up and doing their thing. And then there's another extra tomato plant I had that I just put in over here. So that's growing there. All right, let's go to this side. This is my hibiscus. What are you doing in here? You just chilling? There's like a party in here. There's like too many things going on in here, baby. What is this? I don't even know what's going on. All right, it's some kind of seed, and then just the ladybug, and then there's like some kind of little cricket or something in there too. That's so random. All right, anyway, these are my hibiscus. They're Roselle. Oh, I saw a red guy. I saw you, sucker. Look at that. These suckers. These are the only things. Usually other bugs, if I don't know what you are, I'm going to let you be. But if I see these guys around, you got to go. But these are the Roselle. You can make the hibiscus tea out of them. And then over here behind them, I have my peas. I think it's going to start getting hot now. Yesterday was finally 90 degrees. But, and I let my daughter know about the joy of eating peas fresh off the vine. So I don't know if we're going to get like a harvest, but we've been coming out here and like just eating from them. And they are looking nice. A couple of the plants are growing up, and these are the best looking peas I've had yet. So next year I want to plant them earlier, but I am going to plant them here along this side. I usually was trying to plant them back there. I think it was too shady back there. So we're going to try this next year, but earlier. All right, I put a random squash in the planter here. This planter gets really, I don't know if you can see, but if it gets really moist and I have to come and kind of dip it and drain it out. Ooh. Well, maybe not, but you can see like the fungus growing in there because it's so wet. Ew, I got mud in my sandal. But of course, it's my fault for wearing sandals in the garden. All right. Then over here, we have kale. I harvested a little kale from here from the upper leaves too, but it's pretty chewed up on back here. Next year when I plant my brassicas, I am going to try to cover them just so they're a little bit more protected. Brussels sprouts got little tiny buds forming in between the leaves for that plant. This plant is, I guess they're getting there. And then my kohlrabi is there. I did go ahead and cook some kohlrabi. And it was interesting. It was like a crunchy potato. A crunchy, bland potato. But I think if I seasoned it differently, it would have been even better. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was interesting. I liked the texture of it. It was a really nice texture. Like I love the texture of water chestnuts and stuff. And it kind of reminded me of that crunchy a little bit. I wonder if I cooked it a little bit more, how it would be. Because I think I mixed it up with potatoes and carrots and broccoli, and I had a whole bunch of vegetables in there, and everything else cooked faster than the kohlrabi did. So I think I'm just going to next time try to just cook it by itself to see how soft I can get it and what it tastes like when it gets soft and all that. So, but it was good, and I think I would grow it again and eat it again too. All right, let's keep going. I also have some more parsley down there, and I have some, what do you call this stuff? Swiss chard. I ain't gonna lie though, I don't really eat Swiss chard, it's just there because it's pretty and I can grow it. All right, let's keep going. All right, I have over here, I planted some more random squash. I also have some onions and stuff growing in here. I got lettuce growing in here, and this is broccoli growing. I think it's going to get too hot. I planted these out too late, and it's going to get too hot for them to really do anything. There's garlic chives over here. I'm going to run to, I'll have Ollie's where you're at. We have an Ollie's near us, and not many places have Ollie's, but Ollie's is like one of those stores that if other stores have excess supplies, the Ollie's takes excess supplies and sells it for a discount. So I love that place because you never know what love hate, because you never know what you're going to find in there. So you kind of have to always go to see like what is there. But then you never know what you're going to find in there. So like when I was in there looking for something else 2 weeks ago, or like a couple weeks ago, I saw a dehydrator, but I was like, oh, I have to wait. It's not in my budget right now. But I'm going to go back this weekend, but I don't know if the dehydrator is going to be there. So fingers crossed that the dehydrator is still there. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, let's keep going. So this right here with the beautiful funky leaves, this is artichoke. Oh, look at that little crabby looking spider thing. Oh, hold on, can I get it? That is crazy looking spider. Anyway, anywho, and look, y'all, they say pill bugs don't be eating your leaves, but pill bugs do be eating the leaves. I've seen them destroy some of my squash. Who else is in here that's not supposed to be here? Like, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. These bugs be eating my plants all the time. Yeah, so that's basically my garden song. All right, and then something came in the middle of the night, and it ate up my dug up this artichoke over here. This artichoke was looking so big and beautiful and bushy and everything, and then it was like hanging on by a thread. Luckily that morning I had come out and said, oh, let me just check what's going on in the garden, and I found it just hanging on for dear life, and I repotted it in there, but it's not doing as well as it was before. Like this one was the least good looking artichoke, and now it's the best looking one because that one's kind of looking a little sad. But I believe it's gonna pop up. I believe in you, artichoke. You got it. You can do it. You can do hard things. All right, here I have some more mint. This is spearmint over here. Kind of has a little bit bigger leaves. I've been harvesting this and drinking it with my mint tea, and it's delicious. All right, you are a weed, sir. Get out. You are not invited to this party. Okay, this is my oregano. I dug it up and replanted some of the pieces because it was growing too thick, and it wasn't happy for a little while, but it's kind of popping back up again. All right, these are my potatoes. How did this bag get here? I'm gonna throw that out. That means somebody been in my garden doing stuff. Crazy animals. All right, so I dug the potatoes up from here recently. I did a video showing like what I got, which was actually a surprise. I put a squash in there. I'm going to plant the sweet potato back here too. And maybe I'll plant some more beans or something like that back here too. This is going to kind of be my random bed for now. And then on the other side, I got some cucumbers going. Baby, you're supposed to be growing up, honey. You got to grow up. It's going to be okay. All right? It's going to be okay. You don't want to be flopped down. It's dirty down there. Okay? All right, good. So anyway, this is a cucumber. I'm kind of interested because, oh, there's like those little fly thingies on it. That's a female flower. I don't really see. Oh yeah, there's a couple male flowers down there in the cut. So they're chilling. So that's coming up. This is kind of buggy back here, so these ones get really chewed up. This one has a lot of flowers on it. That's a flower there, but these are such tiny plants to me. And I'm wondering if this was like some kind of small variety, like a patio variety that I planted. And so that's why it's kind of doing all the, or is it struggling? And that's why it's kind of doing it quickly. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, let's keep going. On the other side of the cucumber bed, I have my peppers. And so they're doing okay. There's kind of slugs and stuff getting to it. Like you can see this one's all chewed up. I put some slug repellent down and then it rained. And it's going to rain again, so I'm not putting more slug repellent down. There's an interesting critter. What are you? Wait, can y'all see it? What is that? I'm going to Google ask what that is. I also want to know what these are. Can y'all see that? Okay. I'm going to screenshot and Google ask what both of those are once I'm in editing. But anyway, I think these peppers are doing okay. They're all sweet peppers in here. And I think they're doing okay. I had planted these. The seeds said calendula. These are not calendula, I don't think. But I'm just letting them do their thing and see what happens. They kind of have these pretty frilly leaves. They really don't smell like anything. Like I would think dill or fennel, but they really don't smell like anything. So, and dill and fennel both have strong smells, I believe. So I don't know what that is. Okay, y'all, this is a hot mess. This is the path, or the thing formerly known as a path, and now it's a strawberry bed. I will probably come and clean it out at some point, but I got strawberries from it this year, and I've struggled getting strawberries in the past. All right, this is something. I don't know what it is. It smells kind of minty, but it's not really minty. It's like mint adjacent. It is in the mint family because it got those square stems, but I don't know what it is. And I don't want to use it not knowing what it is. I wish I had smell-o-vision so y'all could smell this and tell me what it is. Okay, I've been harvesting garlic. I'll throw a picture up there of that and drying some out now. Once that's dried out, I'll come in and pull the other plants. Garlic's another one that's like potatoes that you really don't know what's happening until you pull it up. And then you pull it up and you're like, oh, okay, cool. So that's that. I'm letting my radishes go to seed. Everything I pull up doesn't have anything on it, but I figure it'll pull in the pollinators with the little flowers. And I think it looks really pretty. All the greenery and stuff looks pretty. So I'm just letting it do what it do. In between them, down here, are carrots. I don't know if y'all could see them. Let's see. It is my job to make sure you see them. So in between here is carrots. Y'all see the carrots down there growing? And these radishes look kind of like they're making a bulb, but if I pull it up, it's going to be super duper. It's disappointing. So there's that. I just want one radish, y'all. That's all I want in my life. Anyway, and I love my little dragonfly friend over here. It glitters out in the night in the garden. Not in the night, but like evening and stuff. It looks pretty. And you can see more peas growing from this side up the trellis. All right, let's see what else. Go back over here again. We're going to backtrack. I got more chives growing in here. They're going to flower. This is some more feverfew, and I put some more lemon balm in here to see how it does in that that container. This lemon balm here, my lemon balm is getting like these weird browning at the edges. So like the new leaves don't have it, but just the leaves below that will have it. So I don't know what that is. If I just need to toss the whole plant and try to start over. That plant's not doing it. I just started that from seed. This is an older plant that I divided up and planted out. It's been in the garden for a couple seasons now, so I don't know. Anywho, here's another random strawberry patch. I'm trying to keep it there and keep it small. So whenever I come through and I see like these things that they're putting out, which if I let this grow, this will grow roots and become a new plant. So I'm trying to pull those out. Here's another one. So if I let this grow, this part right here would grow roots and start a new plant. So I've just been pulling those out so I can keep this contained a little bit. So I'll come through every once in a while and just see if it's trying to put out some new suckers. And if it is, I'll just snatch them up off of there. So no ma'am, we're not doing that. That is not what we're doing. Oh, there's a bunch over here. Anyway, I don't want to get caught up doing this with y'all on video, so I'll come back later and do it. That's my third garden chore. All right, and here's more peppers. I planted these ones after I planted these ones, so you can see the difference in growth. Also, these ones are getting eaten up by something as well. This one looks like got a little disease or something on it. Anyway, there's also kind of basil planted there. Over here. And last year I used straw. Well, over the winter I used straw, and it didn't give me these problems of as mulch kind of thing, and it didn't give me these problems of going to seed. But this year I am having to go through and pull out, but I'm just trying to keep up with it as I go along so it doesn't become too big an issue. They're usually pretty easy to pull when they're small. This is another snapdragon. And then we have our sweet little cosmos over here. This was a volunteer. It actually grew kind of in the middle of the bed, and I dug it up and planted it over in the corner there just to try to bring the pollinators in. Okay. Over here we got blueberries. I got a decent sized harvest of them already, like more than I've ever gotten before. You can see kind of in here, there's some that's blue and turning blue. The little squirrels or whatever are disrespectful because all of these bags were up on something and this one on the ground now, which means somebody tore it off and ate what was inside of it. But I'm getting a pretty decent, there's some more there, pretty decent harvest out of here. So I'm pretty happy with that. I had said I was going to, I want to keep these plants small because they are planted in containers. If we ever move, I would like to take them with us. But I kind of want to see, like this one last year had a really big growth come up from it and I cut it back and it had really small blueberries and didn't do that great this year. So I think I might try just for a season to let these large pieces of growth just grow and not cut them back in the fall and see what happens from them. So that's my plan. Also, look at this. I found a cicada out here actively molting. Poor guy. He's like, give me some privacy, lady. But I don't know if the cicadas, I don't think the cicadas are supposed to be as bad as they were last year. But I think they're cool and they're harmless. And they're kind of a sound of summer. So, okay. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, there's eggplants in these. The eggplants, since the rain and the sun and the heat, have started to shoot up. They were tiny for a little while. And this one has a little flower on it there too, flower bud. But hopefully as it gets warmer, these will do better too. There's some more garlic bed that I've been harvesting from. The whole bed was filled with garlic. I just don't have the space to lay them all out, so I left some in there and did some others. All right, let's see what's going on here. This is more eggplant and eggplant and eggplant. And again, this is getting eaten by something. But I'm trying to get them off. There's those little fuzzy jumping thingies that I keep finding. And I just try to like tap them and dissuade them away. They'll stay away from my stuff. And then there's like some purple basil in there too. I have to find, look at that. That's the problem. All these slugs. I don't want to put any more slug away though, or the slug stuff, because like I said, it's going to rain the next few days. And and no point in putting it down if it's just going to get rained away. So I have to wait till the rain stops, and then I'll come back and put some more slug repellent stuff. Okay, this year, y'all, I am determined to get some squash. We gonna get squash, gosh darn it. So I covered it with the netting. Now it's not super duper securely on there, so there are some bugs inside. Let's see. So there are some stuff crawling around inside there. But my biggest thing is I don't want the squash vine borer to get in there, because that's the one that takes me down every year. So hopefully this is enough that as it's flying around, looking for some place to lay its seeds, lay its eggs. There we go. We lay eggs, not seeds. Hopefully it will be dissuaded from this area. I also planted, like I've been saying, I planted squash here and planted squash there. So I'm hoping that if it does go for the squash, it'll go for the easier ones that are planted around. Those are kind of my decoy squash. This is my I want to get food from here squash. There's also some more snapdragon, surprise, surprise, in there. And then I planted some basil. There's red Reuben basil there, and there's sweet Genovese basil or something in there. So every once in a while I have to come in here, and you can see the little sprouting of the straw stuff in there. So every once in a while I have to come in here and weed it. But for the most part, I've been able to just leave this and kind of let it do its thing. I started these all just direct seeded in the ground. And then there's a couple of holes in here where that should have had, that dark spot there should have had a plant in it, but the pill bugs came, the roly-polies came in here and just, can you get off of there, because you're not cute. The roly-polies came in and just kind of demolished that one. So, but at the end of the day, I have a lot of plants in there, and they're going to get huge. So if the roly-polies get a couple of them here and there, that's fine, really. I found in gardening the secret is to plant a lot with the expectation that a couple are not going to make it, but you'll still have enough left for yourself. That's my gardening philosophy. All right, there's always enough to share. This is a chamomile plant. It's looking kind of nice and bushy. And then this is some more lemon balm. This is the partner to the other one that I split up. And these leaves, well, no, they're kind of having it too. See the little browning around it? So the fresh leaves look pretty good. And then just below that has a little bit of the browning going on. So if y'all know what that is, let me know. And this is rosemary. It's been through a lot. I just leave it out here over the winter, and so far it's made it. What's over here? This was supposed to be my raspberry thing, but it's just a stick right now. And I don't know if it's going to do anything or if I did something wrong or what. But I also put some basil in here too, just so that this was not a bin of nothing. Okay, let's keep going. I'm sorry, I'm sniffing again. I realized in my garden videos, about 10-15 minutes into it, I start sniffing. So there's that. I never noticed that about myself before until I started watching my videos. I do apologize. All right, y'all, this is our little tomatoes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plants in here. It's a 8x4, or is it 8x5? I don't know. I think it's 8x4. Yeah, it's 8x4. It's an 8x4 garden bed. I built them using these little block things. Look at that. Look at that. Little suckers. Anyway, they also are helpful for decomposing other materials in the garden, so we're going to let them live. Okay. Anyway, I find that these are the easiest things to build my beds out of. I just got to ask the store to cut these to the length I want it. I buy these, slide them in there, bed is made. So it's the easiest thing we got going. All right, let's look at our tomatoes. We got tons of tomatoes growing on here. These are the Sun Gold. These are my favorite. I have 3 plants of these. One in this corner, one over there, one in each of the corners, basically. Okay. And then we got some more growing here. This is probably going to be some kind of striped variety. Going there, tons of flowers on them. I got these growing here with look at how huge this flower ended up being. I think it's going to be a fasciated tomato. So we'll see. Some of my leaves are doing some funky things, like this little yellowing and stuff. So I'm keeping an eye on these. These are my San Marzanos. This is my first year growing these. Look at this. How am I supposed to trim the suckers off of that? Like which is the sucker? I think it's just ended up dividing into 2 plants. So I'm going to have to figure out how to, well, I could probably cut this one off and just let that one grow. I don't like letting them grow. I know some people are like, it goes back and forth. Some people are like, oh, you suckers off of your plants to help them. And some people are like, no, don't do that. You're taking away all the growth of your stuff. I just like it because I found that it keeps the plants healthier from getting disease, and it's just easier to get through too. So I can plant like more plants in this small space and make it manageable still. All right, I also have marigolds growing down here and basil also growing down the middle as well. And of course, a snapdragon. And of course, a snapdragon. Okay, but a lot of these have flowers on them and have fruit starting to form. So I am excited about that. It takes tomatoes a while. You'll sit here forever staring at just the green tomatoes, and then all of a sudden it'll be just the right time and they'll start turning. All right, then over here I have more cucumbers. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry for the sniffling. I gotta do allergy meds before I do my videos. Anywho, over here I have cucumbers. I've been keeping an eye out on pests, those little red critters that I squashed over there, like these. So I just come out and check every once in a while the bottom of the leaves, see how they're doing. Also, with all the rain, these are prone to like catching powdery mildew and stuff. And so I have like a little spray that I've stashed over here. It's Earth's Ally 3-in-1 plant spray for organic gardening. And it's supposed to control aphids, whiteflies, mealybugs, mites, powdery mildew, downy mildew, blight, canker, and black spot. And it's supposed to be that if you spray it, it should just be fine for everybody. You can it says harvest same day, and it's healthy for whatever. So I come out here, shake it up, and if I see like these white spots growing, then I just spray it down really good on the front and the back. And those little fuzzy creatures too. Oh, this got a flower coming in. That's nice. There's some ladybugs larvae there. So I'm not going to spray the upper leaves. I don't even really spray the whole plant. I just kind of spray the leaves that are not looking good. And if any of the leaves start to look really not good, then I just cut them off. I don't even try to fight it. But if it only has a few spots on it, I'll come through and I'll spray. Usually it's kind of silly. I feel like it's kind of silly I'm doing it now. Usually I do it after it rains. I'll come out. It's supposed to rain this afternoon though, so whatever I put on it right now, not really going to do anything. But it's okay. I also use Captain Jack's copper fungicide, but this one I liked that it was the 3-in-1 with the bug stuff too. Okay, I have some dill planted underneath these as well, but I think at this point it's kind of drowned out by the cucumber, so I don't know if they're going to do anything. All right, over here I have my jalapenos. They're getting eaten up by the slugs. Like the slugs love to hide underneath the plastic pots, and then they come out and eat them up. So you can see they're kind of all eaten up, and the new growth at the top is too. But I'm telling myself that it's not a bad thing. Like sometimes you would pinch off the tops to make for bushier growth. So that's what the slugs are doing for me. In the meantime, when it stops raining, I'll come out and put some slug repellent out here and hopefully get rid of them. It'll be my second round of it. So hopefully that'll help them get better. Okay. And then over here we have Anissa's garden. She chose yellow begonias, which are just gorgeous. They're kind of looking raggedy now, but they've been really, really pretty. And then this purple shield plant is gorgeous too. And she has some gomphrena back there and some what are they called? Canterbury bells and a basket flower. So she got some stuff. And these are black-eyed Susans up here. She doesn't like those, but here they are. So she got some liatris, I think it's called. So she got some stuff going on, but we also have space to fill. I don't like the space, so we'll try to figure that out. And then Nyla has a lot of her space filled. So she has snapdragons, of course, gladiolus. Look at that sucker. Not doing that. Okay, gladiolus, more Canterbury bells, more snapdragons, some begonias. She chose this pretty pink one and this gorgeous red one. These things here are from some wildflower mix. I don't know what they are. There's a bunch of either yarrow or, what are you? I'm going to pull some of these are weeds. It's either yarrow or you are not a weed, but you are a weed. Okay. Okay, refocus, Hasia. It's either yarrow or what's the other one with the fluffy leaves that you can drink? Chamomile. There we go. Chamomile in there. It's kind of all mixed up. And this is Heal All right here, so I don't know what that's going to do. And there's some Gomphrena back there too. So we'll see what happens with hers. And some lamb's ear over here. This is another butterfly plant. It looks like it got chewed off at the top and now something else, it's trying to resprout. So hopefully that goes because I really want those butterfly peas. And then out here, I have, this is my passion fruit plant. My plan is to let it grow up over the summer, over the season, and then trim it back and bring it inside the house so that I can grow it again next year. Because it's like $20 for like 2 plants. And so I don't want to have to keep buying it each season. So I'm trying to bring them inside for the winter. So there's one there and there's one over there growing. All right, that's my hydrangea that doesn't like it back here. And this is a Gomphrena. It looks like it's about to bloom. It's really short though. So I have to figure out why they're doing that. This is also a wildflower mix that I put in here. There's some cosmos back there. There's a hibiscus here. There's some nasturtiums here growing. So I tried to just get, ooh, I walked into a spider web. Tried to, oh, Lordy, that's a big old spider web. Try to get a whole bunch of stuff. And I also have my little sweet peaches growing on here. So I don't know if those are going to do anything, get any bigger, but they are there, which is cool because that's the first time that's happened. Okay, over here, these are called popcorn roses and they're blossoming again, which is nice. These are my purple asters that I've had for a couple years. I think I want to, in the winter, maybe not winter, maybe in the spring, I want to dig this plant up and move it because the roses and the asters are really bumping into each other. All right, I don't know what these are. The leaves are pretty. I can't remember every year if they ever make a flower or if they just kind of grow big and spiky, but there they are. Here's another one of those little spider things. Cool. All right, there's dahlias back there all over the place. These are some, you know, black-eyed Susans or something like that. Rudbeckia, maybe they're called. I don't know, but they're there. My lamb's ear is like a carpet on the ground. It doesn't grow up and flower. It just grows there. I planted some mullein this year, and so it's there. I bought the plant already from the store because I've been trying to start seeds and it hasn't worked. There's some gladiolus there. There's some yarrow there, and there's some black-eyed Susans over here. And this is like a ornamental allium thing. Guess what we have here? You guessed it. Snapdragons. Hello. Oh, come on, talk to me, baby. Oh, you don't want to talk? Oh, okay, there we go. Hello, how are you? Oh, you really don't want to talk. Oh, and I broke you. I'm sorry. In my defense, it had been flowering for a couple days, so it was probably ready to fall off soon. Don't judge me. Anyway, I got my snapdragons there. I'm going to leave them alone. Some more begonias there. These are lilies that are ready to go. My hydrangeas are blossoming. They always blossom a bright pink instead of that pretty blue, but it's okay. It's fine. This is foxglove that grows in a pot, and some more begonias. These are, I forgot what they're called, y'all. What are these called? But I planted the bulbs such a long time ago, and they finally came up, but just in a couple places. I wanted them to come around my bird bath, but they're coming up in like other places, like the random places I put them. Like that one's coming up so well. Look at that. So I think they really like just the shade because it's super duper shady over here. It's like the middle of the day and it's shady. These are my begonias. I love how they have some single petaled and then some really fluffy ones. And these yellow ones, they're so pretty. Okay, and this is more chamomile. Then my hostas just got done blooming back here. There's another one of those plants I planted. More hostas. Another one of those plants. And then my gigantic freaking hostas. And then a whole bunch of things going on here. It looks like my bachelor buttons are going to be blooming soon. Guess what these are? You guessed it. Snapdragons. All right. And my hostas have their little buds coming on them. So there and there. On the porch, I have some cilantro that's ready to be put into that planter in the backyard. All right, here's some more foxglove. If you cut off the main stem, like it flowers one big stem, sometimes if it's happy, it'll blossom again. So those are more foxgloves on their second blossom. More hostas in there, the hydrangeas blossoming back there. And see, I had planted these things all around here, but that one's the only one that came up. Well, there's another one coming up right there, but it should be all around here and nothing else came up, which is kind of sad. These are my radishes. They looked pretty coming to blossom though, so I just kind of let them blossom and do their thing. They're part of the flower patch now. And there's mallow plants back there, which are getting nice and big. This hosta is about done blooming, but it was very pretty while it was. This one has gotten nice and big, and I like its kind of bluish colored leaves. My daisies are coming up over here and blossoming, blooming, and then another pink hydrangea. I think I can do something to the acidity of the soil to change the colors, but I kind of also like that there's such a nice pink color and so vibrant like that too. My mallow plant has some buds on it. I felt like I was really behind this year with the garden because I just don't have a lot of stuff that I've had in the past. But my memories have been coming up on Facebook, and those mallow plants were already blooming. So it's not me being behind with my planting. This is what I'm telling myself. Reframe. It is just that the season is slower. It's been cooler, and the season is just going slower. So it's not me. It's the weather. And I'm sticking to it. All right, this is my final little patch. I love this patch of greenery right here. I feel like I did a good job of picking different foliage and different like colors of green and different types of green so that it makes it kind of really interesting in here. So I have some vinca here that I usually cut back a whole lot so it doesn't go crazy, which is good because it's not going crazy. I have some snapdragon. Then this hosta is just gorgeous. This hosta is just gorgeous. There's some calla lilies back here. There's sedum back here. And then these are all mums going crazy over here. And then look, I planted little dwarf sunflowers. And like you see the lower leaves, they've been getting eaten up by crazy, I'm pretty sure by slugs. But they got little friends on them. This one looks like it's going to bloom soon. So that's nice that that's there. All right, and then I planted these here. And over here we have some snapdragons. I think I have a snapdragon problem. And then there's some more beets in here, which I actually just like for the foliage too, even if they don't grow any fruit. And then I don't know what this is. Do you have a square stem? It doesn't really have a square stem. It smells kind of lemony. Lemon verbena maybe? But that's growing in there, and it looks kind of pretty too. So that's that. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna go inside and blow my nose now, but there's actually one more little spot. You know, my little mailbox flowers that I have to share with y'all. And then 50 minutes later, we'll be done with my whole garden tour. This is a comprehensive garden tour. I appreciate you sticking around for this long to watch it, though. I don't know if I would. I may be like, this girl, we don't care. Because usually people either plant vegetables or flowers, I feel like, and not both. Anyway, whew, here we go. All right, these are my mailbox flowers. I just love the whole vibe that they give. I've decided that rickety fence is what we going for. I actually have replacements for that, but it's really hard. Like I super duper hammered this in really well, so it's hard to get this out. So I got to get like tools. I can't just pull it out. So yeah, it's going to be a project. Anyway, my balloon flowers are blossoming. I love these. And then look how many buds are on there. And I just love how they look before they blossom. Like this is where they get their name balloon flower from, because they look like balloons blowing up. And then they blossom and they're really pretty. And then y'all know what these are, right? Snapdragons. This is like a little poker plant. It'll send up a big stalk. I have begonia down there, more snapdragons. Here's some anise hyssop that's flowering. And then sedum is down there. And then I have some lilies. But look at these. Don't y'all, if you can't deal with bugs, look away. Okay? But look at all them aphids on there. Ain't that gross? Oh my gosh. And then the ants are farming them, because you can see the ants right there. The ants like to eat the stuff that the aphids poop out. I guess they poop some kind of sugary something. But they're all on the underside of the plants and everything. So I guess that's my last garden project. Oh, there's a little begonia down here too. Is that sweet? One of my students gave it to me actually. So I love that. Alrighty. Okay, now I'm going inside to blow my nose and take my allergy pills. Whew. But thank you for walking with me on this garden tour. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Any questions, any crazy looking things that I missed that you're like, woman, pay attention to that, then let me know. And I hope I wasn't too random in it. Sometimes it happens. And I hope that your gardens are doing well and bringing you some kind of peace as well. All right, y'all. Happy gardening.